Hello, all my beautiful friends all over the world. This is Maxine Taylor, America's first licensed astrologer, and I have the forecast for the United States for January 2024. Notice I still don't have a neural pathway for it. I had to stop and think. It may take me 6 months, but I'll get it. I promise I'll get it. It'll be easy to say. Before I jump in um, with my forecast, I'm looking at it here in astrological configurations. And I just want to tell you, be sure and tune in February next month because there's a lot that's going to be going on as the sun sits on the United States midheaven and moon. Okay. And I'm very excited about that. And those of you who study astrology probably already knew that. You know, I use the 7 Gemini rising chart. Um, so, mm, mm, all that good stuff. Now, a quick announcement. Some of you have been asking me for months when I'm going to start my astrology classes online again. Well, I've got a twofer. Uh, I am going to be teaching astrology on Zoom, like I always did. Let me get my glasses here so I don't give you the wrong date. Okay. Starting Thursday, January 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, you're going to need to sign up ahead of time. So go to my website, MaxineTaylor.com, and shoot me an email. Tell me you're interested in my classes, and give me your contact information because I want to call you, tell you about the class, tell you how to sign up for it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, Thursday, January 18th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I will send you the Zoom link. I am thrilled to give you part deux. I will be teaching astrology at the Phoenix and Dragon bookstore here in Atlanta, actually in Sandy Springs, starting Saturday, January 20th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. This is for those of you who live in Atlanta and the suburban area that surrounds it. If you would like to be face to face, but in person, so that you, some people prefer that. Go to my website, same deal. Send me an email. And once again, you will enroll through me so you know where it's going, all right? I look forward to talking with you. I want to find out where you're at in your astrological studies because I don't want you to pay for something you already know. Okay? All right. Now, let's talk about the United States chart. Keep in mind, and I say this every month, because we always have new people joining us. If you're a student of astrology, you know what the houses mean. In a mundane chart, the houses are slightly different, okay? And I'm going to read from my cliff notes here so that you understand exactly how these transits manifest in a mundane chart, because for obvious reasons, there are millions of people involved. And yes, I know that we're having a Pluto return. In fact, I did a video on it when it began back last year. So if you want to know more about Pluto, check my other videos because it's there. All right. Anything else? If it comes to me, I'll share it with you. No fear, I will share it. Okay. I am going to start. I've got all kind of notes here, guys. Just bear with me. I'm going to start with the sun and the lunations. That means the new moons and the full moons. This is very, very interesting. The sun, the yellow planet, has been and will continue to be in the 8th house of the United States chart. Again, it's the 7 Gemini rising chart, okay? It will be there till the 12th when it moves into the 9th house and sits on Pluto in the South Node. Now, let me translate that, okay? Because a lot of you, I understand you're new to astrology, and some people even say, don't give me the reasons, just go ahead and give me the predictions. No, I'm an astrologer, and this is an astrological show. So I'm going to give the reasons why. Just I'll give you the interpretation, I promise, okay? So the 8th house in a mundane chart deals with the treasurer and the treasury of the country. It deals with debts, with escrow, taxes, losses, deaths, above all else, secrets. And we have 2 houses that deal with secrets, the 8th and the 12th. The 8th, we know what the secrets are. The 12th, we don't. Okay? So the sun has been shedding its light on money, on debts, on escrow, on everything I've talked about. And the death rate, of course, comes into the picture. On the 12th, the sun moves into the 9th house, and fasten your seatbelt because the 9th house rules the upper courts. The 7th house rules the lower courts. But the sun has already passed through the 7th house, okay? The upper courts, foreign travel and communication with people living outside the United States. Higher education, religion, the clergy, advertising, science, insurance. And when I say upper courts, of course, you know, I mean the Supreme Court. Okay. Philosophy, world trade, and universities. Now you can see that's slightly different from what the 9th house means in your personal birth chart. It's on a grander scale. So let's talk about it. The sun is the giver of life. And on the 12th, it moves into that beautiful 9th house. On the 18th, it sits on Pluto. Now, Pluto is all or nothing. It is the slowest planet in the zodiac, okay? And so the sun sheds a light between itself and Pluto. Pluto can be death and resurrection. It's all or nothing. And because it deals with plutonium, obviously, and it deals with foreigners, which I've just described to you. This is a very, very powerful placement. And the sun, the giver of life, not death, life, is shining its resurrected or resurrecting light on Pluto on the 18th. On the 27th, It sits on the south node. Now, the south node in a birth chart is the weakest area. The north node is the strongest area, but of the two nodes. Every planet has a north node and a south node. I don't know if everybody realizes that. So here we go. This particular aspect with the sun shining on it and giving it light and putting light on it, there can be positive changes with foreigners, with foreign leaders. And when we talk about foreigners, we're talking about immigration, immigrants. We're talking about presidents of countries. We're talking about the higher court, of course, naturally. And so all these things are activated, and our former president is probably involved in all this because it's the upper courts. And I can't keep track of all the indictments, but if I remember correctly, the Supreme Court is involved in some of these. Whether they accept them or turn them down, of course, is up to them. So that's what we're talking about here. It's an all or nothing ball game. Okay? So see our leaders in light. Very recently, we had President Biden had a meeting at the White House, I believe, with you're going to have to tell me because I don't follow politics if I can help it, but I think it was the president of China coming here to the United States. And I thought, you know what, that is wonderful. If we can just talk it out and work it through, when Pluto sits on the United States midheaven, which it will between 2034 and 2039, we can resurrect our world, certainly our country, to the principles that our founding fathers kept in mind when they established us. So, hang in there, kids. Now, let's talk about the new moon. The new moon is on the 11th. And on the new moon, things start happening. 2 days before the new moon, there's no energy. Don't throw a party on the dark of the moon. People just sit there staring out into space or with each other. You're tired on the dark of the moon. And one of my friends said, "Are we always on the dark of the moon?" Emotionally, many people have been wiped out emotionally, and because of everything that has gone on, that is unthinkable, because so many things have come to light. So bravo to us, we're still here. I'm thinking of Elton John's song, "I'm Still Standing." Yeah. I hear it in my head a lot. I know he would be thrilled if you would sing it to yourself or play it on your, listen to it on your earbuds. Man, we're still standing. Yeah. All right. So where was I? All right. The new moon, I've got some notes here, is on the cusp of the ninth house. And what this does is it opens up that entire ninth house, meaning the upper courts, foreign travel and communication, religion, advertising, science, insurance, our philosophy of life, world trade, yes, and universities. Okay. That's the new moon. And so it's going to keep growing and growing and growing because Mercury has gone direct and Jupiter as well. I'll get to them in a minute. 2 weeks after the new moon, we got us a full moon. And this one sits on the north node. And this is really cool. The south node is the area where we are drained of energy. The sun is the giver of life, but it's like the south node kind of slurps it up and weakens it. In other words, it's going to take as much as it can get. So it's a six of one, half a dozen of another, only because both Pluto and the South Node are triggered. I'm looking to see there is a 10-degree orb between them, so they are all conjunct. So Pluto is transformation, and the South Node is just slurping it up. Okay. The full moon. Now, oh, and I told you, be sure and join me in February because the grand trine in the United States chart is activated. And don't worry about what it means. I'll explain it next month to you. The full moon is on the 25th, and it is in 5 degrees Leo. It sits on the North Node. Let me tell you what the North Node is in the third house. Let me read the third house to you. Third house of a mundane chart. Communication, news, news reporters, the mail, public opinion, traffic. Have you been out there lately? Good grief. Travel, books, newspapers, neighborhoods, schools, teachers, all right, and public transportation. You can see the tie-in with Gemini because Gemini, of course, rules the third house, even in our own charts. And so this is a wonderful full moon because it does, I have a note here, it triggers the grand square that we have between the north and south nodes and the vertex and the anti-vertex. So there's a lot that's going to be coming to light on the full moon. The new moon on the 11th is a T cross, and that T cross empties into the 11th house, which rules Congress, congressmen and women, legislation, the Treasury itself, city and county councils, and our friends. So we got a lot going on. Now, let's talk about beautiful Venus. Venus is the lesser benefic. It is love. It is money. It is happiness. It is art. It is everything beautiful. Jupiter and Venus, the two good guys of the zodiac. Okay, Venus has been in our 6th house of jobs, and jobs have increased. The military, health, civil servants, our pets. I include pets very often under the category of children because we treat them that way and see them that way. Civil servants, food, animals of all sorts, and police and fire departments and civil servants. Okay. On the 4th, and it brings love with it. It brings blessings. It brings improvement. On the 4th, it moves into our 7th house, which rules international affairs, wars. That's love. We're not going to have a war under love, but we'll have to see what all comes out. And remember, this is just for the United States, okay? Lawsuits. Our open enemies, lawyers, politics itself, marriage, divorce, the lower courts. So we've got the ninth house, upper courts triggered by the sun, and lower courts, triggered by Venus. We've got our bases covered. And it rules the public at large. And there will be more love. That I don't know about you, but I encounter beautiful, loving people wherever I go. And when I go to Publix or Kroger, um, people are so kind and helpful. I feel that COVID has brought out the best in some people, and in everything that's going on has brought up the best. So, and Venus, it definitely does that. So, marriage, the public, blessed. And on the 23rd, Venus moves into that infamous eighth house of the treasurer, our debts, our escrow, taxes, losses, death, and secrets of all types. But it blesses us. So this can be really cool. All right. Now let's keep going with Mercury. Mercury went direct yesterday and today. It was kind of straddling the fence. Mercury is what we think about and talk about. It's in the seventh house of, I just read all that whole list. Lots of talking, lots of communicating from the public. The lower courts being involved, talking about war. Let's not talk about it. Let's just not do it. I hope this makes sense to you. That would be a good mantra. And you're welcome to take it and use it. So there's lots of talk going on. And now that Mercury is direct, it can bear fruit. On the 14th, it moves into that eighth house of the treasurer and debts and escrow and taxes, losses, secrets, and the death rate. I've never seen so many deaths as I have around the world that we've seen recently. But fortunately, Mercury doesn't do anything. It just talks about it. Well, let's look at what does. All right. Mars, the warrior, is in the seventh house. It has been there stirring things up. Mars is what we fight with and fight for. And with Mars ruling the public, the seventh house, lots of, I mean, I hate to even say it, gunshots, fighting, breaking out, being cruel to one another, and the lower courts, the police, the fire people who do their job. Bless you all, our civil servants. On the 5th, just a few days away, Mars moves into the eighth house. Mars co-rules the eighth house in the natural zodiac. And so once again, we're talking about the treasurer and debts and taxes and losses and the I mean, there's so much going on. And wherever Mars is what we fight with and fight for. So there are emotions in gear. And this is why I'm so happy Venus is there, because Venus is love. Same house. Mars is in the 7th and 8th. Venus is coming out of the 6th and is in the 7th and 8th. And so when love blends with anger, it's passion. It doesn't have to be a war. Very interesting. Now, Jupiter, yay, the greater benefic, has gone direct. And this is great because now the blessings of Jupiter will be felt. Now, I got to read you, for those of you who are not familiar with the mundane 12th house, what that means. Here's what the 12th house means: bribery, spies, hidden enemies, prisons, jails, hospitals, crime, criminals, charitable institutions, seclusions, secret societies, welfare. And since the topic has come up again, slaves and slavery. And here is Jupiter, the greater benefic, helping to bring truth, which is Jupiter, to our hidden enemies. And there are some things that need to be kept hidden because the world is too volatile right now. Now, that's my opinion. So disregard it if it's not your opinion, okay? I'm thrilled that Jupiter is direct and is working, blessing, behind the scenes activities, everything that needs to be done away from prying eyes. My goodness, we had an insurrection that everybody saw worldwide. Yeah. Who'd have believed it would ever happen? And I remember when I was doing my reports a few years back saying, we ain't seen nothing yet. I didn't know what that was. Now I know. And it ain't over yet. So every little ray of hope I will report. And what I realize that I can do, and perhaps this really is you as well. Many of us are here to bring light to the planet. And if you are a star seed, a walk-in, a light worker, a healer, a reader, a giver of the light, that is what you can continue to do that will help our planet beautifully, because love is the universal antidote. When I accepted my ministry, I'm ordained. When I accepted my ministry, I thought, I want to bring about love and truth. And the truth is, we are here to recognize who and what we are. We are the light in an earthbound form. And so to all of you, I thank you for following me on a monthly basis. And thank you for your kind words. They're very encouraging, of course. Of course, you're light workers. That's what you do. So I'm sending love to all of you. I'm inviting you to join me in February because we got the sun moving up to the midheaven and the moon. That's the president and the party in power. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what that brings. And it can bring light. It can bring hope. It can bring change. So, till we meet again, bless you, bless your country, bless your origins, and may the stars shine brightly on you and yours. Sending love to all of you.